Good. That was a good first read through. I thought you guys starting to understand the characters. It's a rough because you're learning the lines, and it's a lot of back and forth. And I think, because of the flowing of it, it's supposed to be a little bit faster the conversation, but you guys are still learning the lines, so don't worry about that. I did like that I believe that you two knew each other in some capacity, were friends, even if it may be tense. However, and this is something that maybe you want to play on a little bit more the next time you do the scene, when it starts getting to the point where you're complaining about the ice cream man, it's like, as long as they have someone else to pick on or complain about or to kind of demean, they are the best of friends. It's whenever they have to talk about someone else, because they can't just accept whatever they're doing is what's absolutely right to do. And any time someone else is doing something different to that, it's when they look down on it. So both of you are in agreement that ice cream is bad for your kids, and you don't want your kids to do it. So you're bonding over that, and it's like a switch. All of a sudden, all that sassiness, all that like tension between you has just disappeared, because now you found someplace to direct that negative energy towards. You just need to be negative towards somebody. Might as well be the ice cream truck man. With you, I would say, and this will happen, I'm sure, naturally as you go on throughout it, but there were times just when you did it, even the character is written like this, where I feel you were giving her too much power of the conversation, where she seems to be domineering and winning the fight a little bit too much. Resist a little bit towards her. Just kind of be a little more like, well, that must have been last year. Or, well, that must have been last year. Very dismissive of what she's saying. Okay. It felt a little bit at times too much that you were defensive. Be a little more dismissive. With you, I liked you're more. You definitely came off very snooty and bougie. There's a good note there that you can, I think, even emphasize a little bit more when you're talking about your son, and your character has a moment like, oh, where you think that the character is deaf, and it kind of goes into that conversation. You're just like, oh, and then he says, oh, his first language. I mean, it should just sound like, when you hear that, you're like, this is the biggest load of crock I've ever heard. Like, really just like, at that point, you're like, oh, I can't even believe like the conversation is devolving into this. I can't believe you're saying that, like, first language. What does that even mean? I want to like feel that you are starting to get tired of this back and forth once it gets to that point. Because it's like, really? Like, that's what I'm going to have to argue with now? I'm going to talk about this, one-up this game? But other than that, I think you guys are doing well. And that's just notes. I think if you kind of steer in those directions a little bit, it's going to show a lot in the next read-through. Quick question before we bring in the next group. I know they're about ready to come in. What are you thinking your character wants out of this? Outside of just, I want my kid to come out looking the best. What do you think is beneath that? And this is for both of you to kind of answer.
Besides my kid to be better, and I want to go to family, but we're just better. We're doing, our choice is the best choice. That's really what my character is trying to get over, is that we have the best choice. Yours is good, but it just ain't the best.
Ain't the best, right. And how about you? What do you think is beneath this? What are you feeling with your characters? Why is it so protective and defensive about her son?
I'm thinking that I just want, it's almost the same. To want to win, just win, not particularly this argument, but just in general. We probably went through this little thing several times before, so I just want to win. Improve, I guess,
Okay. Good.
Win the whole thing.
All right. I think if you keep those notes and do it the next time, I think it's going to really flow nicely with like how these two interact, and I think it's going to be a good read through. And so we'll come back to that scene in just a moment after I let these guys in.